Guys, this is not an advertisement. I just want to show you this. Do you see how sick these Pepsi Cola cans are? I mean, if I drink soda, it usually is like Pepsi Cola, not normal Pepsi, because it's made with real sugar. But like, do you see the design? Oh, this is sick. I swear it's not a paid partner. Trust me, if I had a paid partnership with Pepsi, that would be fantastic. I would be living in a very nice big house instead of an apartment. But no, seriously, like this is so cool, guys. Genuinely, like, don't you agree? It's so freaking cool. How's it going? Hopefully you guys are having a great Sunday. I am having a fantastic Sunday. And the Spurs go marching on with a 3-2 loss. Suck it, you bums. North London is red. Shout out to all my Spurs fans. I know some of you are here. I know a lot of you try to troll me. For most of you NASCAR fans, I have no idea what you're talking about. We're talking about English Premier League soccer. And Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-2. Cheers to my Arsenal friends. Cheers to all my Tottenham friends crying their eyes out. Your entire season tries to stop us and you still fail. Congratulations. Enjoy your Sunday. I've had a great Sunday. It put me in a fantastic mood for the NASCAR race at Dover. The Worth 400. When I read that title, I think of other things. Replace the W with like G. You know, we got the Girth 500. You got my mind racing, I'll tell you that. You know, as we head into the summer months, this is when, to me, NASCAR takes a little bit of a downturn in terms of the interest, just mainly because you have the championship standings that don't necessarily matter. Like, yes, you can win stages. Yes, playoff points are important. But, again, whoever's going to make the playoffs, 16 people shouldn't make it. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of people make it. So there's no real hype or paying attention to like a cutoff line or anything and the win you're in. So no one really cares about that kind of stuff, right? So the summer months takes a little bit of a downturn just because, you know, you go through racetrack after racetrack after racetrack after racetrack, and you know, we haven't even gotten there yet. We're still in April, but like we're starting to approach that moment. So I didn't have the highest of expectations for Dover. Knowing this race car, knowing Dover, I like Dover as a racetrack, and there actually are a lot of times in recent history that Dover has had great races. As you know, obviously the racetrack itself is a very unique racetrack in terms of like, I like to classify it as very similar to Kansas in terms of a lot of crazy things can happen at both Dover and at Kansas in terms of just chaos happening. So it's always a very interesting race. And today's race was not good and it wasn't bad. And I don't think anyone should overreact to that. It's a long season. There's a lot of freaking NASCAR races, and like it's not a problem if not every race is great. And definitely NASCAR has been on the more positive side of motorsports compared to F1. Like Formula 1 this year is just not having a good season. It's just having a brutal season in terms of just entertainment value, because obviously Verstappen is dominating, but you know, not just that. It seems like the field gets, you know, settled with like 5 laps into the race, and there's no point of really watching literally every single Formula 1 race this year. Even the one where Verstappen DNF'd, it was a Ferrari 1-2 for the entire thing. And so, you know, it has not been the greatest of racing in Formula 1 this year. And so, you know, it happens, right? NASCAR is not having NASCAR, in my opinion, has been having a good season. So all my people who are in late high school or early college and want to reminisce on the glory days of, I don't know, like 2016 to 2021, trust me, you don't want that back. You want 550 horsepower back. You want Gen 6 back, which was one of the worst cars I've ever seen in dirty air. Yes, it does. You know, it would get the short track racing better, but do you want to see a little bit of contact in your left rear tire going down because I made slight contact with you and my your tire went down? No, I mean, you don't want to see that stuff. So it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. I think there's been a lot of overreactions with the next gen car. At least I've seen on social media this week that a lot of people have really been hating on the next gen car. Funny enough, after a Talladega race, I don't think there's overreactions. I just think the car needs to be worked on. The bigger problem I'd worry about is, do you trust NASCAR to actually fix that? I don't really know. You know, the car is what the car is, so it's going to be tough to change a lot of things about it. But there are some fundamental parts about it that are good. And then there are just some fundamental parts about it that are not working right now. I think it's more about, you know, hopefully we can sometime put horsepower back in the car, maybe take a little bit of drag out of the race car. That would be kind of cool, but, you know, we'll see. I think there's been a lot of overreaction. So today's race was not anything special. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was what it was. I actually thought if you had like an average race meter, does it tilt more into the good side of the average or the bad side of the average? Like a little bit above average? I thought it was a little bit above average. I thought there were moments where, Truex was leading the race, where Larson was leading a race, Hamlin was leading the race, Byron was leading the race, Kyle Busch early on led the first few laps. So there wasn't one dominant driver, but also if you were able to get into the lead after a restart or after pit stops or something like that, it would be pretty challenging to pass you, especially on a longer run. So I get it wasn't like someone dominated, and it wasn't like it was, in my opinion, a bad race. Like I don't think it was. I thought it was good to watch the groove widen out. Rubber was being laid down on the racetrack, so that was nice. And it was like a normal Dover race. The problem comes, with the end of the race, where obviously the air blocking, and that will be the majority of what we talk about, because that is a factor that we do have to talk about. But Martin Truex Jr. won stage 1, Kyle Larson won stage 2, so good win for Truex, who probably could have competed for the win. His car was hindered for the majority of the end of that race because of a restart where he made contact. The front bumper was all messed up. He definitely lost aero because of that. Was still fast, which was kind of crazy, but he was still fast. Definitely lost aero. It would be interesting to see if Truex could win or compete for the win if he didn't have that aero damage. But he definitely had aero damage, and it definitely cost him some speed there, 100%. Kyle Larson wins his 6th stage of the season, which is very, very impressive. And like I said, for championship, standings and playoff points, you expect Kyle Larson to make the Final Four. You expect maybe like Denny Hamlin to make the Final Four. Will he ever win the championship? We will see. You expect William Byron to make the Final Four. So it's just when a championship is determined in one race, it really does hinder the excitement of points racing in the months like April, May, June, July. It doesn't matter. You are kidding yourself. If you think it matters to you, you're kidding yourself. I'm being honest. It does not matter, guys. There's 4 people that make a championship race, and they have a 25% chance to win it. The championship is determined in such an idiotic way that it really hurts the rest of the season, and that is how it's going to be until NASCAR narrows down the playoff field, because they're 16 guys. There's no way guys 12 from 16 are winning the title. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Once they finally come to their senses and narrow down the playoff field to 10, and hopefully one day get rid of a championship race, then the months of May, or April, May, June, July, will be a little bit more important, because there will be a points battle. Once you eliminate win and you're in, there will be that constant want of being consistent instead of, I won a race, now I'm locked in, all right, we could just go ahead and just mail it in. If we don't win, whatever. No, that's just kind of stupid in my opinion. I just don't like it. And so if you got rid of the championship race, you would also have more of an importance on stage wins getting you playoff points or race wins getting you playoff points, because those playoff points wouldn't just fall out of thin air on the final day where you have, it's 1v4, right? Or 1v3 in a 4-way, fatal 4-way Backlash 2007. What was that, the year they had a fatal 4-way? WWE fans, was it Backlash 2007? Fatal 4-way, Cena, Edge, HBK, Triple H, or was it something else? There was a fatal 4-way at Backlash. What year was that? I digress. I'm getting lost. But yeah, so that, that's just my opinion on that stuff. Let's head to towards the end of this race. There was always different leaders. Pit stops were very, very important. Green flag runs, long green flag runs, coming down pit lane. Would you be able to get into the lead? Kyle Larson on the final cycle of green flag pit stops, while a caution actually came out in the middle of green flag pit stops, which definitely helped out someone like Daniel Hemrick, who we will talk about once we get to the race results. That kind of, it basically put seven guys in the lead lap. Everyone else had to take the wave around, kind of messed them up. But Larson got the lead, and then a big I just burped. I'm sorry. It's the do you burp with the soda? I'm telling you, it's the gas, But a big wreck on the restart happens. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, William Byron, all involved. And this happens on, the first lap of the restart. Denny Hamlin gets the lead from Kyle Larson while they were battling in a turn 1. And so that now means, everything Larson did on pit road to get the lead and everything thrown out the window. Denny Hamlin's now in the lead. And that was very important because as we saw towards the end of this race and as we saw throughout the day as well, you could pass the leader. I guess we got to talk about it. The air. I have eternally become very frustrated with this air thing. It wasn't too long ago where in NASCAR you want to get your left front fender in some clean air. Like you want to, if you both are running the bottom lane, try to get that left front fender as low as you can to pick up a little smidge of that clean air. The dirty air won't be as bad. You'll try to inch closer and closer and get up to the person behind you. Maybe get them a little bit loose. That doesn't exist anymore, guys. The Intimidator, if NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup was made in the year 2024, the Intimidator button wouldn't exist because it's not possible. You cannot get behind someone and get them loose. It's not possible anymore. That is what this car has done at the current moment. It's not possible. You can't do it. You are constantly racing air. It is not Denny Hamlin's fault. It's not Kyle Larson's fault. It's not anyone in the field's fault. You race air. You do it at Dover. You do it at short tracks. You do it at road courses. You do it at intermediate tracks. You do it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. You are racing air. And usually, the whole term of racing air was actually only for plate tracks. You know, the guy that could see the air, Dale Earnhardt Sr., he was a fantastic plate racer because he could see, feel what the air was doing. Nowadays, we are racing air every week. And instead of having a 1v1 battle with Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin is instead focused on guessing and air blocking. That's what it's about now. It's not about hitting your marks, picking a line, you know, not making a mistake. It's not about that. It's about mirror driving and air blocking. That's just pathetic. And it's also about, you know, can you catch lap traffic and get out of the way? You've seen it in the field as well. The field are very aware of how much dirty air does. So towards the end of the races, there is a lot of respect now, I think, where you see guys just getting out of the way. Like they're going to the top. They're backing completely out because they know if you just run your line, you are going to be screwing over the leader severely. If they are going in a battle. And so you just get out of the way. It's like the respectful thing to do now because you know just how bad the air is. It's very frustrating, guys. The last 15 laps of that race, I think that from like 30 to 10 to go, it felt like a normal, interesting battle. Okay, Denny Hamlin has to get through traffic, right? And so Larson is slowly gaining. And then he gets to that margin, the half a second margin. And you just can't do anything. You just, the only thing you can do is you have to go to a line that the other car is not in. And it doesn't matter if we were at Charlotte, Texas, Kansas, Martinsville, Bristol, Homestead. It doesn't matter. It does not matter one bit. It's probably even worse. We've seen it a lot of times at like tracks like Darlington or Homestead where you need to run the top. If you have to run the top, it's even worse because there's nowhere to go. You can't actually go higher up. There's a wall there. You can't make up more time. The bottom's not going to work. So if a track is top dominant, it's even worse. You have no chance of getting there. So you just end up racing air. And Denny Hamlin blocks, air blocks, air blocks, air blocks. Even if you guess wrong entering the corner, you just have to slide your car up or down. It will affect the other driver. If you just cross the wake of the air, it will affect the other driver. We knew this was going to happen when Next Gen Car was first introduced in 2022. We all said that. I said it. Everyone said it. The teams will find the downforce to make the cars more turbulent in dirty air because it goes faster in clean air. And so those very early years of the Next Gen Car, the very beginning, was the most like innocent prime way you're going to see the Next Gen Car in clean air versus dirty air. Once the teams find the downforce, once enhancements are made to the car, it's going to get worse and worse and worse in dirty air because the teams are just trying to make their car go faster and faster and faster. It's not a bad thing for the teams. It's motorsports. It's sport. That's how it is. I like that. I don't want this to be full-blown entertainment, you know, WWE fake racing. I want it to be motorsports, but it also has to be entertaining as well. And this is just, racing air is not entertaining. Larson didn't stand a chance. And, you know, some of you guys might think I'm complaining too much or it's because of a Hendrick bias. Switch it up. Put Larson. You guys know me. I'm not like a kid anymore when it comes to these races. I don't care about bias. I care about I want to see a duel, man. That's one of the best things about NASCAR, still to me to this day, is two drivers in a 1v1 duel at the end of the race. It's just all my favorite moments are that. Like, there are cool wrecks and cool moments, but if I think of NASCAR, I think of Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson Atlanta 2005. I think of Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven 2003. I think of even, like, you know, as a Jeff Gordon fan, I think of Jeff Gordon chasing down Tony Stewart in 2007 at Phoenix to you know, tie. Was it tie or pass? I think it was the tie Dale Earnhardt Sr. I don't remember. My memory is betraying me. Obviously, Jeff Gordon versus Jimmy Johnson, Atlanta 2011. And that's actually a perfect example, because Atlanta 2011 with the COT, you saw the drivers racing each other. You can see, go watch those last 10 laps and go watch the last 10 laps here. You can run in the air of each other. You're racing the track and you're racing the other driver. You're not racing the air. And, you know, again, there's a lot of moments. I can think of 2018, Chicagoland, again, another probably worn out track. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. Those 1v1 battles is what I live for. It's what I love so much. I don't care who's even in the 1v1 battle. Well, when I was a fan of Jeff Gordon, I cared. But nowadays, it doesn't matter to me. It truly doesn't. I just want to see great racing. And I feel like every single time we get to the end of these races and we are at an intermediate track or a short track or something, it doesn't matter, any track, you're not going to get it. You're racing air. Even if Larson gets to the side or something, it's like NASCAR's own version of DRS, I think. If you can just get beside the car, you will pass him. So if Larson was even ever able to get to the side of Hamlin, they're not going to battle each other. They're just going to, like, Larson will be able to pull away, like, immediately. I miss those 1v1 battles. I miss drivers racing each other. And I'm just sick of dirty air. I'm just sick of it, man. Like, it's worse that it's very bad. I'm not going to say it's as worse as it's ever been. There were moments in Gen 6 were worse. I don't remember what track it was. Was it Kansas with Joey Logano? I don't remember who he was chasing or if he was leading. All these races blend together, guys. But there was a Joey Logano, I think it was Joey Logano, Kansas, in Gen 6 550 horsepower package. I think it was something like that. And my God, even in 550 horsepower package, that air, oh God, like, it was just so brutal, man. So it's not like this is the worst it's ever been. It's the same it's been. It's not better, it's not worse. It's the same. We've had this issue for a while, and I just really hope that one day we can fix it. I'm not angry about it. Like, I think you guys could tell by the way I'm talking about it. I'm not angry about it. I'm just kind of sad, because I would love for NASCAR to create these memories to replace the old memories, you know, the old nostalgic memories that of great finishes in years past with different race cars. I would love for this race car and this version of NASCAR and these race car drivers to create their own memories. The ones that I can remember right now, the next gen car, honestly, is just Kyle Larson driving himself into the wall because he can't get past dirty air at Darlington or something like that, you know? Like, I'm not seeing 1v1 battles. I'm seeing desperation to just try to get out of dirty air. And that is very sad. Just in my opinion, that's how it is. So Denny Hamlin wins the race. We'll pull up the race results. Let me know if you guys agree with me. Like, I feel like I'm being pretty reasonable with how I felt about that. Do you guys agree with me? Again, not angry. I'm not even necessarily complaining. It's just I feel sad. I feel like you guys should feel sad too, unless you're a Denny Hamlin fan. Obviously, because there's a bias there. I would love to see those 1v1 battles. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott round out your top 5. A couple of shout outs here. Noah Gragson in 6th. Now, I will be the first one to admit, guys, when I am wrong. You guys know there are 3 drivers that I don't really rate, that I've openly said to you that I don't rate. I don't hate on any drivers. You know, I respect everyone in the garage area. They're all obviously better than me. But Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson. Those are 3 guys that I have said, obviously, that I don't really rate. I don't know if they're going to make it. Gragson this year has 100% proven me wrong. Like, I've said it before in a previous video earlier this season. He keeps doing it. So, seriously, big ups to Noah Gragson. I didn't rate Eric Almirola. So, I'm glad he's doing a better job than what Eric Almirola was doing in that car. Hopefully, he can keep it up. And, you know, maybe compete for a win nowadays. But that's not up to him. He is outperforming his teammates on a consistent basis at SHR. He's doing a very good job. Genuinely. Very, very good job. So, I'm actually very proud of Noah Gragson. Obviously, he had a rough time for a while. And, you know, I'm glad to be wrong. When he won the 8 races in the Xfinity Series, and something about that, I was like, I don't see it. And then he came into the Cup Series, and the first year was just a mess. And then, obviously, all the incidents and stuff. He gets the ride with SHR, which I didn't know if he deserved. And to be fair, you could look back and does he really deserve that ride? But now he really is showing. So, massive shout out to Noah Gragson, and kudos to him. Cheers with my empty Pepsi can. Cheers. I don't drink alcohol, so, you know, cheers with my soda can. So yeah, cheers to him. Alex Bowman in 8th. You know, again, another driver I don't rate. I don't really have much. I'm not gonna. I don't know. You need to do more. That's just my opinion. He ran well today, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, compared to his teammates, it is what it is. But the other guy to shout out is Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick gets the caution. So that caution with about 70 to go, it was in the cycle green flag pit stops. Hemrick stays out, and he's able to have only 7 cars in the lead lap. So he's able to come down pit lane, restart up towards the front of the field. And while this shows you, how much dirty air and clean air matters, the further you up in the field, the less dirty air you have to compete with. Hemrick was running in the 20s. He wasn't having a great day. He ends up finishing in 9th because of that, the lucky break with the strategy call on the caution. So shout out to Daniel Hemrick for getting the top 10. Ty Gibbs in 10th, Tyler Reddick in 11th, Ross Chastain 12th, and the rest of your field, AJ, Josh, Cindric, and shout out Austin Cindric. He beat Joey Logano. And this is what I was going to say about Austin Cindric real quick, because, again, I've talked a little bit about Bowman, not a lot, but I've talked about Gragson. I don't rate Cindric, but there is a large part that it's not all, Penske Racing has not been great other than Blaney in the final 7 weeks of last season, right? So, Blaney caught a hot streak at the end of last season and all that, but Logano has been struggling. Blaney, for his standards, I still think has been, for Penske Racing, has been struggling. So I'm not expecting, if Logano and Blaney are struggling, I'm not sitting here saying Cindric should be running top 10 on a consistent basis. The organization is struggling. So that's, there are other reasons why I don't rate Cindric, but in comparison of the team right now, I can't really say anything because the organization's not very performing. Logano's really been struggling. So if Logano's really struggling, I can't say Cindric is, he doesn't deserve the 2 car. I do believe someone else should be in the 2 car, but it's not all his fault. Buescher in 17th, Daniel Suarez, Briscoe, JHN, John Hunter Nemechek, LaJoy, hosts of our Justin Haley, Zane Smith, and the rest of your field. Again, shout out. Well, not again, but we didn't mention it yet. Shout out Eric Jones. Hopefully, he's getting better. He had obviously the crash at Talladega has knocked him out with the back injury that he has. I think it's a broken vertebrae or something like that in his spine. So very, very scary. Best wishes to him, and hopefully he gets healthy and is able to come back as soon as possible. And there are some fast guys towards the back of the field. Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Christopher Bell, all involved, like I said, in that crash with around 65 to go. Next up is Darlington, right? Is Darlington next up, guys? Let's see. No, it's Kansas. Kansas is up next. Great racetrack. Kansas is definitely one of the best intermediate racetracks out there. So I have my hopes up for that one, that we can hopefully have a good race. And then after that is Darlington. And then after that is the All-Star race. So honestly, 3 tracks that I am excited for: Kansas, Darlington, and North Wilkesboro. So hopefully we will have some fun. Then we get into the summer months where my interest really dies down. Once we head into June, guys, you have Gateway, Sonoma, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nashville. Just wake me up when June is over. I'm not watching NASCAR in June, guys. June. Then we get the Chicago Street Race on July 7th, Pocono, Indy, Richmond, Michigan, until we get to Daytona. So yeah, again, the summer months are the summer months. It's just not fantastic, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. Like me, I'm having a great Sunday. I'm going to go watch Tottenham fans cry. I do not care about the title. Congratulations, Manchester City, on probably winning the Premier League. I don't care. I don't need a title to vindicate my team. I'm having a great time with my football club. I was there when we were in the mud, so I'm very happy when we are as doing well as we are. Guys, enjoy your Sunday. God bless you. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram already. Subscribe if you're new. Leave your opinions and comments down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.